How many Lego bricks would it take to fill the Empire State Building? This is probably the most New York thing you could do, except maybe eating a slice of pizza while yelling at a taxi driver. The Empire State Building has an interior volume of about 37 million cubic feet. That's basically enough room to fit every bad date you've ever had, plus the world's supply of pigeons, and still have space for a Shake Shack. Now, a standard Lego 2x4 brick is 31.8 millimeters long, 15.8 millimeters wide, and 9.6 millimeters tall. That's a footprint of 0.000502 square meters, and with the height factored in, the volume comes out to about 4.8 cubic centimeters, or 0.000048 cubic meters per brick. Of course, Lego bricks aren't poured in perfectly without any air gaps. They're chunky, awkward little rectangles. So we'll give them a packing efficiency of 60%. That bumps their effective space up to 0.000008 cubic meters each. Convert the Empire State Building's volume to cubic meters, 37 million cubic feet, times 0.028316 equals 1,047,713 cubic meters. Now divide that by the effective brick volume, 1,047,713, divided by 0.00008, approximately equals 131 billion Lego bricks. That's right, about 131 billion bricks to fill the entire inside of the Empire State Building. And at around 2.5 grams each, that's more than 327,000 metric tons of Lego.
How many Lego bricks would it take to stack to the height of the Burj Khalifa? Because if you are going to build the tallest Lego tower in the world, you might as well match it to the tallest building in the world. The Burj Khalifa stands at about 828 meters tall. That's nearly a kilometer of please don't look down energy. Now, a standard Lego 2x4 brick is 9.6 millimeters tall. If we stack them perfectly, no mortar, no glue, just pure clutch power, we'd need to figure out how many of those tiny plastic rectangles it takes to match that insane height. First, convert the Burj's height to millimeters. 828 meters times 1,000 is 828,000 millimeters. Then divide by the height of one brick. 828,000 divided by 9.6 is approximately 86,200 Lego bricks. That's right. Just over 86,000 bricks stacked end to end would get you from the ground to the top of the Burj Khalifa. But here's the problem. A single Lego brick can handle a lot of weight, but stack 86,000 of them and the bottom ones would literally explode from the pressure. So in real life, your record-breaking tower would be more like a record-breaking pile of Lego dust. How many Lego bricks would it take to pave the streets of Disneyland? Because if you've ever been there, you know the real magic would be replacing the pavement with tiny plastic rectangles so you can destroy your feet before the 12-hour wait for Space Mountain. Disneyland in California has about 100 acres total, but the actual streets and walking paths take up roughly 30 acres. That's about 1,306,800 square feet of surface. A standard Lego 2x4 brick measures 31.8 millimeters long and 15.8 millimeters wide. That's a footprint of just over 502 square millimeters, which is 0.000502 square meters. If we pave perfectly, each brick would cover that much space. But we're not robots, and bricks have tiny gaps when laid side by side. So we'll assume a packing efficiency of 95% for tight tiling. That makes each brick effectively cover 0.0004769 square meters. Now convert Disneyland streets to square meters. 1,306,800 square feet equals about 121,400 square meters. When we divide 121,400 square meters by 0.0004769 square meters per brick, we get approximately 254,783,874 Lego bricks. That's right, just over 254 million bricks to cover every street and walkway in Disneyland. And since each brick weighs about 2.5 grams, that's over 636 metric tons of Lego, enough to make Mickey Mouse file a workers' comp claim for severe soul trauma. So there you have it. How many Lego bricks would it take to pave the Great Wall of China? Because if you thought walking the Great Wall was hard before, try doing it barefoot on millions of sharp plastic rectangles. The official length of the Great Wall, including all of its branches, is about 13,171 miles. That is roughly 21,196 kilometers. The The average width of the top walkway is around 5 meters. Multiply length by width and you get about 105,980,000 square meters of surface to cover. A standard Lego 2x4 brick measures 31.8 millimeters long and 15.8 millimeters wide. That is a footprint of just over 502 square millimeters or 0.000502 square meters. Of course, bricks cannot be laid down with perfect precision. There are always tiny gaps. For tight tiling, we can assume a packing efficiency of 95%. That means each Lego brick effectively covers 0.00046769 square meters. Now, divide the total walkway area by that effective coverage. 105,980,000 square meters divided by 0.0004769 square meters per brick equals approximately 222,295,179,275 Lego bricks. That is over 222 billion bricks, enough to make every Lego set on Earth look like a starter pack. And since each brick weighs about 2.5 grams, this paving job would weigh over 555,000 metric tons. How many Lego bricks would it take to fill an entire Costco warehouse? Because when you run out of bulk peanut butter and 12 packs of socks, the obvious replacement is a mountain of plastic rectangles. A typical Costco warehouse has a floor space of about 143,000 square feet. The ceilings are tall, roughly 32 feet high. So the total interior volume works out to about 4,576,000 cubic feet. To make the math a little friendlier, let's turn that into cubic meters. 1 cubic foot is about 0.0283168 cubic meters. So the Costco's volume is about 129,582.3 cubic meters. Now, the Lego brick. We will use the classic 2x4 brick. That's about 31.8 millimeters long, 15.8 millimeters wide, and 9.6 millimeters tall. Multiplying those dimensions gives around 4,833.076 cubic millimeters, or 0.000004830076 cubic meters per brick. But bricks are not perfect cubes. There are studs, hollow undersides, and air gaps between them. For loose stacking, we will use a 60% packing efficiency. This bumps the effective occupied space per brick to about 0.000008055126 cubic meters. Now divide the Costco's total interior volume, 129,582.3 cubic meters, by the effective volume per brick, 0.000008051266 cubic meters. That gives roughly 16,096,268,454.083 bricks. Since you cannot have a fraction of a Lego brick without making a very loud snapping sound, we round up. At roughly 2.5 grams each, that would be over 40,000 metric tons of Lego, which is way more than the free sample table can hold.
How many Lego Death Stars would it take to outweigh a real space satellite? Stick around until the end of this video so we can help you finally silence those pesky questions that keep you up at night. So imagine this. You're building your third Lego Death Star in your home office, amidst all the video meetings notifications, and you, in your caffeine-deprived stupor, get struck with a thought. How many of these would it take to outweigh an actual space satellite? A totally typical question that logically follows building a Lego Death Star, right? And naturally, you put down that miniature Vader and rush off to solve the mystery, no? Just me? According to my highly diligent research, also known as quick Google searches, a Lego Death Star weighs about 10 kilograms, and our average unassuming space satellite typically weighs in at about 1,000 kilograms. Super lightweight, right? That's like, I don't know, an adult polar bear? Let's do the math. Because we all miss those thrilling algebra classes from high school, am I right? Divide our satellite weight, 1,000 kilograms, by our Lego Death Star weight, 10 kilograms, and voila! We get about 100 Lego Death Stars. Yes, you heard it right, family. You'd need to stack 100 of those miniature galactic orbs with evil laser beams to match the weight of your run-of-the-mill space satellite. Now let me guess. You're now debating which Lego set to buy next to equal the weight of the International Space Station? Or what about the Golden Gate Bridge? For me, I'm left with Lego pieces up to the height of a garden gnome. I have some catching up to do. Let's be honest here, having any excuse to buy more Lego sounds good to me. So there you have it, folks. Roughly 100 Lego Death Stars would weigh the same as your average space satellite.
Subscribe for more and drop your wildest ideas in the comments. I'll do the math for you.